Hello, everyone. Welcome back to an amazing relaunch of the Rosh Chodesh Institute. On piano, Moshe Noble, and on Torah, Rabbi Naftali Citron.
The great sage Rabbi Akiva said that just like a mikvah, a body of water, mitaher es atmein, it purifies the impure. Kach HaKadosh Baruch Hu mitaher es Yisrael. So the Holy One, blessed be He, purifies Israel. 250 years ago, one of the holiest Rebbes, Rabbi Levi Yitzchak of Berditchev, his marriage should protect us, explained this. A mikvah is water. Water is clear. And being purified by water means losing the color. The color is the things that we've done that make us a little bit less clear, a little bit less pure. But we could re-submerge in the water and be born again as a pure person. That's what it means to re-submerge in the Holy One, blessed be He, so that we can become purified. To lose the attachments that we have to the things that have colored us, whether they be through anger or through jealousy or through desire or just plain laziness. When we reconnect to that source, we emerge renewed, refreshed. This is the power of this month, the month of Tishrei, the month of Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Sukkot, Hoshana Rabbah, Shmini Atzeres, and Simchas Torah. A month that is so full of spiritual fireworks. A month that has impacted me, and I hope will impact you in the most profound way. Rabbi Akiva, the great sage, when describing what Rosh Hashanah is, said the following: Imru lefanai malchiot. God asks of us to say words, verses, in which we assign grandeur. We assign sovereignty. We assign executive powers. We assign the restructuring of our priorities, to make God the center, our King. And the Imru Lefanei Zichronot, we continue, we say our history, our story, which is inexorably connected to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to receiving Torah at Sinai, to entering into the land of Canaan and turning it into Eretz Yisrael, and the first and the second Beit HaMikdash, and the exiles, and the return to the land of Israel, and the very years that we've had just right behind us. And we recount these things so God remembers us. We are in a relationship. The past of the relationship will impact the present and the future. Memory. Uvamen, how does this actualize? How does it become more than just words? Bashofar. When we take the shofar and we blow it. The shofar, one of the verses we say before we blow the shofar is Min HaMeitzar. From the distress, the straits, the narrowness, I call out to you, God, and Anani Bamerchavka, you respond and you answer me from a great opening. Every year that begins with difficulty, with the narrowness, will become widened when we take the very pain of being distant, the feeling of being apart from our source, from our purpose, from our Creator, and we try to want to remedy that, desire for truth, desire for finding out who we really are and actualizing it and living up to our divine purpose. The bitterness in that process itself will lead us to the sweetness, will lead us to our destination of searching for God and enjoying the process, even though there are moments of pain in it. And the way we do this during Rosh Hashanah, Aseret Yemei Tshuva, the 10 days of Tshuva culminating in Yom Kippur, is the way that Jacob describes in his vision. V'hinei sulam, a ladder, was planted on the ground, but its head, top, reached into heaven. What that means is that we establish ourselves on earth in a position that we can link from one rung lower to the rung above us and climb higher. We can achieve greatness in our life if we have a path, if we see the road. Prayer is the road map, the GPS to get from where you are on earth into heaven. And that is particularly manifest on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. Rosh Hashanah isn't simply a list of what is wrong and what we'd like to do to fix it. We'll get there on Yom Kippur. Rosh Hashanah is the reset button. Ritzonenu liros es malkeinu. Our desire, our will, our wish is to see our Father, to see our King, Ba'or Pnei Melech Chayim, in His light of His presence is life. Olam Chesed Yibaneh. The motive for creation, the Olam, the world, the universe, Chesed, kindness, is what motivated the divine creation. But although initially it was unconditional, we now have to be partners in creation. We have the power to rebuild, and God forbid the power for the opposite. And that is our job in Rosh Hashanah, to reinvest and to reimagine and give purpose to God in creation by the year that we want to have for ourselves. And then we go out of the synagogue and we go to a body of water during the holiday of Rosh Hashanah to say Tashlich. And it's said by a body of water amongst other reasons because water is all about togetherness. There's one drop of water merges with the other drop. It teaches us how to be more like liquid, to be less of a ego, difficult, and allows us to, as Rabbi Akiva says, purify in the mikvah, which is ultimately the mikvah of reconnecting with the Holy One, blessed be He. And then the Aseret Yemei Tshuva. Yom Kippur is coming. Kol Nidre. We undo the tapestry of difficulties that we've created in our own life. We've been given the power to free ourselves, to start again. And the forgiveness that comes on Yom Kippur is not so much because we list off things that we may have done that are wrong. The forgiveness of Yom Kippur is Itzumo Shel Yom HaChaper, the essence of the day. The essence of the day is a revelation that God loves you above and beyond anything else, beyond reason. It's such a powerful love that all you need to do is just receive it. Just not get in its way. You begin Yom Kippur by taking responsibility, but you end it by recognizing that you are just the putty in God's hands. The Holy Reb Levi Yitzchak of Berditchev, when Yom Kippur ended, he retreated to his home and he sat at the table and he held his hand to his chest and he said, mine hearts, my heart. His Shamish, his caretaker, thought he He's hungry. He's hurting. He's so hungry. He ran to bring him a drink and some things to eat. Reb Levi Yitzchak ignored the food and continued to hold his chest and say, "Mine hearts." The shamash was at a loss. The caretaker tried to bring other things, and everything he brought, Reb Levi Yitzchak Berditchev did not participate in or eat or drink. Finally, the caretaker remembered. He took out of the bookcase, high up, the Gemara Sukkah, and brought it before Reb Levi Yitzchak, who then opened the Gemara, proceeded to study, held on to his chest, and in a soothing way said, "Mine hearts, my heart, my heart." As he proceeded to study the whole tractate through the entire night, maybe not even breaking to even eat anything. My heart. My friends, we may not be Reb Levi Yitzchak Berditchev, but I'm telling you, Tractate Sukkah, Masechta Sukkah, is the heart and soul of this month. It's a beautiful tractate. I try to study it every year, and every year it gives me so many gifts. It gives me so much spiritual pleasure. And then when I sit in the sukkah, I'm no longer sitting in a physical structure. It's clear to me that I'm sitting in the tzela de himnusa, in the shade of the divine faith. Faith in our sages, faith in Torah's Moshe, the Torah of Moses, faith in our patriarchs and matriarchs, the seven shepherds that guide us through this holiday. And the transition is so strong. The 180 from the seriousness of Yom Kippur to the simcha, to the rejoicing, v'samachta b'chagecha, rejoice on your festivals of Sukkot. The simchas beis hasha'eva, the rejoicing, in the evenings that we remember the great joy they had in the Beis HaMikdash, in the temple. But first you have to pick out our lulav and our esrog. V'lakachtam lachem. Take for yourself b'yom harishon, on the first day. There's a chapter in Tractate Sukkah, Masechta Sukkah, called Lulav Hagazul, the stolen lulav. The Talmud tells us that based on that verse, take for yourself, it has to be yours. It can't be stolen. It can't even be borrowed. If you borrow it, you have to say, can I have it as a gift? Matana al manas lahachzer. Can you give it to me? I'll return it. So you're gifted it. It's yours. The holy Ishbitzer, the holy Rebbe of Ishbitz, says that each mitzvah is a headquarters for some ethical element of your life. And if you really want to fully, spiritually take the lulav, you can only fully integrate it into your soul if you take that which is yours all year long, or if you didn't, give back what isn't yours. It's the headquarters. It's the headquarters. L'kachtem lachem. take for yourself. But it goes even deeper. That's the Ishbitzer, the deepest of the deep. Or Levi Yitzchak and Bartichuk goes even deeper. This is a story where he adopted a young boy. And the father of the young boy was a tzaddik who had passed away. And he came to Reb Levi Yitzchak in a dream and he said, why don't you teach my son your two top teachings? What are your two top teachings? How to make Kiddush Friday night and how to shake the lulav and esrog on Sukkot. Why are these the top teachings? Because Kiddush, you say, V'yechulu hashamayim va'aretz, God completed heaven and earth. It's all about the power of God, how powerless we are in His presence. But the lulav and the esrog are exactly the opposite. V'lakachtem lachem, everything is in your hands. You have no idea of the power of the choices you make every day. And even though they're opposite ideas, they're both true. And Reb Levi Yitzchak never let anyone see him do these two mitzvahs because they were too powerful for anyone else to witness. But now he had promised in the dream the tzaddik, this young man's father, to include this young man for Kiddush and for taking a lulav and esrog. The young man was able to be present when Reb Levi Yitzchak would make Kiddush. He would be able to understand how much God is everything. But when he finally came to Sukkot and saw, witnessed Reb Levi Yitzchak taking the lulav and esrog and the responsibility that each one of us has, the young man fainted. To take on the knowledge of your own power and your own responsibility is sometimes even harder than fully accepting God in everything. And that is the lesson of the lulav and the esrog. V'lakachtem lachem, take to yourself the value of who you are and what you can do, and no one else can replace you. And then when you take the lulav and the esrog, you do the nanuim, you do the shaking. You shake it after you make the blessing. And then you shake it during Hallel. And our great sages tell us, this is the meaning of the verse. Az yiranenu kol atzei hayar. Then all the trees of the forest will jubilate. Lifnei Hashem, before God who has come to judge the world. It doesn't just literally mean the forest, the beautiful forest. It does mean that, but it also means that when a community shakes the lulav and esrog together, we become the roots, and the lulav and esrog that we shake becomes the branches that are trembling with joy as they dance in worship of the Holy One, blessed be He. We become a forest, a heavenly forest, a joyful forest, full of song, full of music, full of praise to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And then the last day of Sukkot, we take the Hoshaina, the willow, and it's based on an ancient ritual that took place in the Beit HaMikdash, in the temple. It was so amazing then. Again, study it in Tractate Sukkah to see the details of what was used to happen. And the Holy Rebbes explain, now why are we making such a big deal out of the lowly arava, the lowly willow? And the answer is because it's lowly. Each one of the 4 species of the lulav and esrog represent a level of a different type of person. The lulav is the Torah scholar. And each one progresses a little lower till the arava, which is the simple person who's not learned and not somebody who particularly does mitzvot. But what we do is we elevate them on that day, on the 7th day. We understand that it's not about how great we are because of how much we know. It's just the simplicity of it all is the highest. That's humility can exceed the arrogance of knowledge. And we celebrate that. We celebrate that simplicity and that humility. And that connection that goes beyond what we can possibly really achieve with our actions. And then comes Shmini Atzeres and Simchas Torah. Simchas Torah is a celebration of the completion of the Torah, but we don't study that much. We dance and we sing. We become the feet of the Torah. Sisu v'simchu b'simchas Torah. Rejoice, be glad in the joy of the Torah. The Torah is our pride. Nobody can take it away from us. They've tried. I remember a number of years ago, I went to a distant place that had no synagogue, and I brought a Sefer Torah with me. So while I'm at JFK at the airport, I'm holding a Torah. And all of a sudden, 50 people lined up to kiss the Torah. You couldn't tell they were Jewish, they weren't religious or anything like that. But I think if the Satmar Rebbe would have come, they wouldn't have lined up so much. Maybe Hasidim would have, but these are Jews, they're the Arava Jews. But they saw a Sefer Torah. The purity of their relationship with the Sefer Torah is just so powerful. Sometimes when you read it, people start having a hard time with it. They don't understand it. They've never read the Medrash, so they take it too literally because they don't know any better. Never. So pure, so holy. It takes us all the way back to Sukkot, to Yom Kippur, to Aseret Yemei Tshuva, to Rosh Hashanah, to Elul. It takes us all the way back and just wraps it all together and brings it together in such a beautiful way. It's something to really experience the high holidays. You have to really also experience Sukkot and Simchas Torah. I'm begging you this year, whatever you can do, whether it's in a shul or on your own, please, please, please don't stop on Yom Kippur. Now, if you could just take a deep breath. And relax a little bit. And breathe all the way in. And then exhale slowly. Inhale. And exhale. And just be in a relaxed position. If you need to relax your back, your shoulders, your neck a little bit, go ahead and take some time to just release some of those stressed out, overworked, tense shoulder and back muscles. You could move your head from side to side. You can move it in front of you. You can move your shoulders back and forward, up and down, so that you get a really nice kind of loose feeling. This is the Jewish exercise, a minute of just relaxing your upper back and shoulders and neck. It's instead of the gym. And breathe deeply. Just imagine a part of yourself. It's actually there in you. Where it's not about a specific task that you have to do. It's just a very pure place. It's your divine soul. is inside of you. It's a reflection of your divine source. When the Torah tells us, let us make man, woman, Tzalmenu K'dmusenu, in the divine image and likeness. That is the part of you that is your soul. Just like God fills the world, your soul fills your body. Just like God sees but isn't seen, so too your soul sees but is not seen. Just like God is not affected by all the things in the world, so too the highest part of your soul is not affected by the world. However, the lower parts of your soul do get affected by the struggles that we go through every day. So our job is to realign the lower and higher parts of our soul, so that in the light of the higher parts of our soul, we will be purified. When we reach that, we re-identify with the purity of the soul, with the true divine spark that's in us, that can't be tarnished. We just need to clean away the things that don't allow us to feel that part of ourselves. And that's what tshuva does. That's what repenting and returning are similar but not the same. Returning is going back to that essence of who you really are. So you may want to make a little list of how you can repent. But the goal is to return. The goal is to be who you really are in your essence. Because your essence is pure, your essence is holy, your essence is one, your essence is godly. Even your sensation of separateness from other people in the world, that's an illusion. May be necessary, may be important for its reasons, and we need to respect those boundaries. But all of those sensations of separateness come because God is hidden in the world, and the truest essence of our soul's nature is also hidden even from us. But sometimes we want to get a glimpse behind the curtain, because that'll change our perspective on everything. And that's what we're doing this month. That's the glimpse God gives us on Yom Kippur. So this month, let's peel back the layers. Let's go into the mikvah of the divine. Let's listen to the call of the shofar. Let's enter into the words of Torah, Tefillah, Tzedakah. The words of Torah, the words of prayer, making God our center, making God above us, making that which is above us the direction of our lives. Survival is important, but purpose, meaning, transformation is the goal. And as soon as we get very serious about it, let's remember that all of us need to be in the sukkah together. We need to join, we need to get beyond ourselves, but not in a way that we take that which isn't ours. We get beyond ourselves, and what is ours, we take with integrity and work on and earn and take responsibility at the same time. That paradox is the key. Oneness and individuality. Transcendence and responsibility. And let's transform our material world by becoming like the rest of nature, like the trees, in their simplicity of knowing that they're created. Let us be like the lulav and the esrog. Let us be like the putty or the pottery in the hands of the potter. Like the lulav and the esrog in the hands of the shaker of the lulav and the esrog. Az yiranenu kol atzei yar. And then let us become part of that circle of dancers. As we celebrate the joy of Simchas Torah.